Class. Welcome to Mindful Pilates, and let's come to our mats. Let's begin with a little dynamic movement and then postural alignment work. Whoops, I'm on my wrong screen. I want to see all of you. There we go. And let's begin with just a little shaking and bouncing. Let's start there. Starting there, we'll lift a foot and shake a leg. And let's lift the other foot and shake the other leg. And let's put both feet on the floor and let's practice the raven's hello. Hoo! Everybody say it. Hoo! It was so cool. I just can't believe the raven was talking to me. I hope it happens again so I don't think it was in my imagination. Shake, 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 shake. And then let your arms gently spin. And let it be a gentle spin, especially those of you with low back pain, just a little bit into the tension that's there. And taking the feet a little wider, we'll go from the spin to circling the hips, and the arms can circle with the hips. So let's get a little movement and flow in the hips and low back region to start class today. And let's take those circles the other way. And feel how the circles moving from your hips translate down through the knees to the feet. And open your feet on the floor. Feel for your arches and honor them. And now let's take it into a figure eight. One palm up, one palm down, the hips figure eighting as well. Oh, Jill's going to join us. Keep going. And just feel in to the movement in your hips and how it translates up to your spine. And notice if there's tenderness or you feel like you have the mobility between the sacrum and the lumbar vertebrae at this point in class. Take your figure eights the other way. Fluid movement. And then let's begin to float to one side and the other. Remembering we're inviting the bones to float in this myofascial matrix, to spread out the fabric of our bodies. We want space inside the joints, so feel for it even in the fingers and the palms, even in the small bones of the wrists and feet. Now you can stay with this if this feels right in your body, or you can land your feet and circle your arms up and circle your arms down and reach and release. Again, not forcing the joints. If there's a pinching or sharp pain in the shoulders, find a position where you can roll the arms without creating that pinch. And reach towards the sky. Reach one hand and then the other up like you're climbing a ladder. Press the same side foot into the floor as you climb. Reaching and reaching, opening the myofascial web. And then take your arms circling the opposite way. Fluid movement, fluid breath, warming up the body. And then let the arms come down. Let's reach for our long TheraBand and let's bring it up over the crown of our head. And let's really feel into postural alignment to begin with. And we'll feel for it again on the floor and again at the end of class. So as you stand tall, press up from the four corners of your feet. Lift your toes, lift your arches. Lengthen up through the shins and feel into your knees aligning. Femur bone over tibia. And then feel up to your pelvis and let your pelvis be upright. And lengthen from the pelvis up your spine. Beautiful, Sharon. Looks really nice. All the way up through your center palate, through your crown. Press up into the TheraBand. And remember, you're pressing from behind your ears. You're not lifting your chin. Let your hyoid bone rest in. Feel for your shoulder blades on the back body. And lift to one toe. Lifting to one toe, press down with awareness into the four corners of the one standing foot. Lift your toes, lift your arches. Release the toes and float the knee. And tap, 2, 3, and release. So continue to hold this posture, lengthening up into the TheraBand as you lift to the other toe. Hug in the banks of your river. Take a three-dimensional breath. And float the knee. And tap, 2, 3, and step down. Lengthening up into the TheraBand, take one leg behind you. Broad shoulders on your back, lift the foot behind you and tap. 2, 3, lift it up and hold. Take your inner thigh away from your navel of the lifted leg. Let your armpits be buoyed skyward as if there were little buoys under them. Lengthen from the back hips to the lumbars, to the low back ribs, and step down. Take the other foot behind you. Lengthen up pubic bone to navel. Lengthen back of pelvis to low ribs and lift the foot. Tailbone reaches back towards that back leg heel and tap. 2, 3, 4, 5, and lift and hold. And this time draw the knee through as if you could bring your knee up towards your chin and lengthen back. Draw the knee through and lengthen back. And one more. Draw the knee through and step down. Lift to the other toe, hug in the banks of your river. Find your shoulder blades on your back. Feel for palate over heart over pelvis and lift. Tap. 2, and lift the knee up and take it back behind you. And lift it up, draw the chin towards the knee, cat curling the spine, and take the spine open. And again, knee towards chin and open. And one more time, knee towards chin and step down. Release the TheraBand. Take it around your low back ribs. So it's fun to play with the postural alignment work in different directions with the TheraBand still helping you lengthen your neck. Let's hold the TheraBand circled around our rib cage. Hold it in the palms and inhale. Take the hands out from your side bodies like you're holding a big platter and draw the elbows back into the inseam of your shirt and take it out. Now don't have lost your postural alignment. Find your knees, the arches of your feet. Find the knees again, the hips. Now, as you draw this TheraBand tight the next time, pause and lift this low rib ring away from the pelvis. Lift it up in the back, in the side waist, lift it up in the front. Lift the heart center and broaden across the collar. Find your shoulder blades on the back and let the base of the skull rest back. Put your tongue on the center palate. Think of a line dropping down from there through the heart center, through the pelvic center into the center of the earth, and let your elbows come in. And now inhale into the 3 dimensions and exhale. And really think of filling the circle of ribs, expanding it into the TheraBand. Now, as you expand the circle of ribs into the tightening TheraBand, also think of lengthening the spine gently. Because this is what should happen naturally. We fill our torso 3-dimensionally and the spine lengthens on the inhale. So find it. Release the TheraBand. Bring the right hand to your hip, the left palm up, and open the right arm out, broad across your shoulder girdle. Let your head rest back, lengthen the neck, palate over heart over pelvis. Come to your left toe. Lift your left knee and circle. Now can you keep palate over heart over pelvis? Keep the low back ribs lifting away from the sacrum and step down. hold, lift to the right toe, and circle, circle, circle. Step down. Feel through your shoulders, broad across the back body. If you want to stabilize the low back, we need to strengthen the upper back. So feel from the long arm shoulder across to the opposite buttock, down to the heel. So left shoulder to right buttock to right heel. Feel your Pilates square in the front and back. Those of you who were in class yesterday, feel your cube and release and roll your shoulders. Okay, bring your left hand to your hip, right palm forward and up, and open the right arm out, broad across your shoulders. Lift your toes, lift your arches. See if you can release the back of your collar while firming the shoulder blades on the back ribs without hyperextending the knees, and lift to your right toe. And circle, 2, 3, 4, and step down. Oops, Siri thinks I'm talking to him. Lift to your next toe. Hug in the banks of your river. Lengthen through your spine, releasing the collar broad, and circle, 2, 3, and 4, and step down, and roll your shoulders. Okay, let's come to the floor, and let's begin some work on the floor. I need to grab my yoga therapy ball in my chair. Hang on. Okay, we added things today. Oops, I'm gonna make noise, sorry. Okay, did you get a chair? Oh, you did? Oh, okay. I had a chair. That's okay. Okay. Lay down on the floor. And let's work a little more on the hips so that those of you with low back can feel like you release it a little bit. Come into nodding tailbone towards earth and tailbone towards sky. And just feel the state of your lumbar spine right now. Put your thumbs on your low ribs and your fingers on your hip pointers. And feel for the rocking of the pelvis, how you shorten the sides of the square as you lift the tailbone towards the sky, and you release the sides long as you release the tailbone towards earth. And come into your neutral position. Shoulders broad. And exhale one leg to tabletop. Inhale, land light as a feather. Exhale the other leg up. Inhale, land light as a feather. Exhale the first leg up and pause. Now really feel for your square. Find length through the spine and exhale the next leg up. Hug the legs towards the midline. Flex your feet. Keep the right leg still and take the left leg out. Feel how the left arm engages. Keep the right hip engaged and draw the left leg back in. Take the left leg out. Keep everything else in your body as still as you can and come back in. Keep the square as still as you can. Feel how you can work from the moving left hip pointer across towards the right low ribs to stabilize. And you can use the low back ribs reaching towards the ground to help you create that stability. So from left hip pointer to right low ribs to right back ribs, have a connection to earth, a grounding. From left hip pointer across to right shoulder, also ground, and come back in. Now take the left leg open and closed, and reach from left hip across to, right hip across to left low rib. Feel how that can be a strong line of support as you draw the right leg back in, keeping everything else as still as you can. So you might broaden across the shoulders to create stability, across the low back ribs. Feel into grounding the left sacrum as the right leg moves, the left ilium bone. And coming in, draw your knees towards your chest, circle wide apart and back together again. Notice how you pull the knees in towards the chest. You come into a little bit of a cat curl of the lumbar spine. And this should help massage that tissue in the low back. Take your circles the other way. We also begin to create fluid in the hip joint. Fluid breath. Now, reach for your ball. Place it between your knees with your feet on the floor. And to come into the sacrum, we begin feeling into the inner thighs. Let's pulse into the ball. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and hold. Pressing the knees towards each other. Take a deep inhale. Lengthen your spine. And still holding your Pilates square, spacious square, lift the left leg and pulse the knees together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and hold. Shoulders broad, grounding back, lengthening out of the pelvis. And pulse. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and hold. Ground down into your right foot. Feel for your neutral curves of your spine, long, expansive spine. And one more time. Pulse. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and hold. Now, as you hold, make sure you're also hugging in from the outer hips towards the ilium bones, from the outer legs to support the inner thighs. And bend the left knee and straighten the right leg and pulse. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and hold. If you have the leg straight, the right leg straight, see if you can turn it out just slightly. The straight leg turned out will help you get into that vastus medialis, the inner quad. And pulse. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and hold. Three-dimensional breath, shoulders broad and grounded. Gaze perpendicular to the floor and pulse. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and hold. Three-dimensional breath. Still feel the TheraBand around your circle of ribs and breathe into it. And release. Take the ball out, press your pillow away, and bring the ball underneath your pelvis. Let's continue warming up with movement before we stretch. Let's exhale one leg to tabletop. Take an inhale. Exhale the next leg to join it. Hug the legs together and take both legs wide and together and wide. Now, as you draw the legs together, feel for the inner thighs magnetizing and feel for the outer hips pressing the legs together. Use your glutes, use your buttocks, use the outer leg. Press the legs together. Let them fall apart. Press them together. Let them fall apart. One more. And open. Come together. Straighten up. Open into your V. Now see if this is okay for you. Let the legs come apart. Bring the heels together. Apart and together. Balancing on your prop. We open and close. Open and close. Now, are you using your inner thighs? Are you using your outer legs? Are you giving support from the buttocks and the backs of the legs to draw the legs together? Good. Now draw the right foot down to 7 o'clock. And left foot up to 1 o'clock and touch heels and open and touch. And open and touch. Open and touch, open and touch. Switch to 11 and 5. Open and touch, open and touch, open and touch, open and touch. I'm a little behind myself. Bring your knees down with your heels glued together. Bring your knees in towards your shoulders. You can rest your hands on your belly now and press the legs out into a straight line, pointing the toes, heels together, feet in a V. Draw the knees back in towards the shoulders. Heels stay together and press out like you're a frog leaping. Draw the knees in close and press out. Draw them in close. As you press out, feel how many muscles in the buttocks and the legs can be involved in straightening the legs out. If you want more work, you're going to take the legs lower at an angle. I'm not going to do that as a model today because of the procedure I had earlier. So go ahead, take your legs a little lower. Don't take it so low that you feel strain in the low back. So 45-degree angle or maybe just a little lower is about all you should do. Out and in, point and flex. One more, point and flex. Bring the knees together. Float one foot to the floor and then the other. Bring your arms into robot arms. Pressing down into the feet, the arms, the broad shoulders, lift the pelvis almost off your prop. And pause in your bridge, breathing three-dimensionally into the abdominal cavity. Let the pelvis lower. Lift the left toe towards the sky, straighten up, and pulse skyward on the left foot or right foot, whichever you have. Pulse 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and hold. Broad and strong across the shoulders, down both arms. Wake up the upper back. Feel for the upper back taking some of the load, not just the foot. Feel for each corner of the foot working. And lower the pelvis, bend the knees, step down. Bring the other foot skyward, point your toe. Feel the four corners of your standing foot, strong in both arms across the shoulders, lift and pulse. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and hold. Take a few deep breaths into your torso. Working the muscles of the abdomen, the the buttocks, the low back, the hamstrings. Really use the arms, the backs of the arms, broad across your shoulders. And release and step down. One more time, lift the first side. Find the four corners of your standing foot. And instead of pulsing, we're just going to lift off or almost off the support. Flex the foot, lower the heel, point the toe and lift. Flex and lower, point and lift. Use your arms. Use your back. Use the strength of your foot and stay balanced across your pelvis. And release back down. Step this foot down and the other foot up. Find the four corners of the standing foot, the three arches. Find the strength of the whole length of your humerus bone in your arms and lift. And flex the foot and lower and point and lift. Flex and lower, point and lift. Flex and lower, point and lift. Two more. Feel stable across the pelvis. Lift and lower. Rest down onto your prop. Release your arms, palms up, shoulders wide, and let one leg lengthen down. Now, before even taking the arms overhead, concentrate on taking the inner thigh away from the top of the pelvis. This will help you to stretch the iliacus muscle, which lines the pelvis, connects it to the inner thigh. That's why they call it the iliopsoas. So if your iliacus muscle is too tight, it will pull your pelvis forward. And this can create compression, in the pelvis and the low back. Draw your foot back in, take the other leg long. Tune into your breath, inner thigh away from the top of the pelvis. So really try to rest the top of the pelvis back away from the inner thigh. Fluid, three-dimensional breath. Now, some of you will be able to take both legs long and both arms overhead and stretch like you're yawning in the morning, waking up. Breathe deep into the belly. And if you can do a real yawn, do it. Rock your pelvis side to side over the ball. Invite opening. And walk the feet back in, lift up off your prop, lower down, and reach for your yoga therapy, tennis, or racquetball. Bring it under your left buttock. and roll from sacrum out to the outer edges of the hip. Now, you may start low on the buttock down by your sit bone and feel for attachments. And feel for massaging close to the bone. If there's sharp pain, then listen to your body, don't go there. But if it's like, that's a pain of, yes, that area needs stretching, it needs recognition, needs fluid, then stay with it. Stay low on the buttock to start. And even wrap around a little towards your tailbone and see if you can find some release as you wrap around towards the tailbone. So it's like you're wrapping over that bony protuberance you find in the back low buttock. And then wrap back around out towards the outer hip, but stay as close to the bone as you can. And then roll from that bone across to the outer hip. And begin to roll the ball up the buttock a little bit as you roll side to side. Continue to roll up so that it can go across the hip, across the buttock, towards the sacrum and towards the outer hip. And just feel it all the way up, continuing to move the ball, noticing where your tight places are. And then come back to any tight spot you observed and circle there for a moment. Small circles. And invite your attention into this tissue, mindful Pilates, and invite it to relax, to open, to invite in fluid and energy. And take the ball out, lay your sacrum and pelvis down on the floor, lengthen your legs, and notice your body side to side. I think a huge part of the education of this work for us is to really feel into what happens after we do one side. Because you can actually mentally, once you start to feel it, invite the body to open in the way that you felt before. Step your feet in, bring the ball low to the other side sit bone, and begin to roll around it. In one of my advanced yoga teacher trainings, we did an exercise where one person watched as the other person relaxed themselves towards balance in Shavasana. And it was amazing to see the tension and the asymmetry at the start of 10 minutes and to see how much closer they came to symmetry just by breathing and paying attention to their weight on the floor. So now we've felt the first side and what happened. Really listen to this unique side of your body as you roll around the tailbone, the sit bone towards the tailbone. And feel that kind of awkward spot around the tailbone. On the buttock, though, around the outer edge of the sit bone. And just notice, is there tension in there that you may not have accessed before? And as you're ready, you can roll back up to the top of the sit bone on the buttock. We're still in the low buttock, and roll around and down the outer edge, just kind of feeling your way along the bone. And then out across towards the greater trochanter, towards the hip bone, the femur bone. The outer edge of the kind of head of the femur bone is kind of a neck that sticks into the hips. You're rolling out towards the outside of that neck. And then begin to roll side to side up the buttock, moving the ball every few slides across the ball, moving it up the buttock, feeling for tension that may be unique on this side. We take our time. We build our consciousness. It's probably good for us to do this a few days in a row. Don't know that we do that very often. And then find those points in your own tissue that you may want to circle, that you may want to bring your attention a little more focused towards opening. And remember, you can always come back to this after class, or you could do this while you're watching a movie. Fluid breath. If you could get your Kindle held up in a swing or your book, then you could do this a lot. You could just lay your book open above you. Fluid breath. Okay, come off the ball, rest the pelvis down. Breathe into the whole abdominal cavity. Fluid, three-dimensional breath. Lay the legs long. Feel your body side to side. Notice if there's more symmetry now. And walk your feet back in. Okay, let's reach for our long TheraBand again today. And let's bring it up over the top of your left foot. If you need a pillow, bring it back in. And let the left foot pendulum down and pendulum back up. So let's take this hip opening we did with the yoga therapy ball back into our Pilates. So here we are, making sure we keep our neutral curve, working the femur bone independently in its hip socket so it doesn't overstrain the lumbar spine. So your spine is not rocking as you pendulum the foot. Feel for space around the femur bone. Traction your own femur bone out of the pelvis into the therapy band. And come up, lengthen your other leg on the floor and draw a circle towards your big toe from 12 o'clock. So we draw across the body first. Across the body first. Keep your humerus bones on the floor. Don't feel like you have to hold the TheraBand terribly tight with the hands. And your circles can get larger and larger, working on opening the hips, which will positively impact the lumbar spine. Come back to 12 o'clock. Take your circles the other way. Start small. Try for a circle, not a blob. Take it a little larger and a little larger. Fluid breath. You can take it slow and feel where your body wants to stretch, or you can take it a little faster, feeling for balancing the torso as you move the leg. This is core work as you take the foot out to the pinky toe side. You want to ground through the opposite ribs and shoulder. Come back to center. Bend the knee in towards the armpit, half happy baby. Reach through the other foot. Take a deep few inhales. On the exhale, relax deeper into your half happy baby and extend farther through the opposite leg. Now stretch the leg back straight up into the TheraBand and see if the foot will come a little closer overhead. And flex and point both feet. Flex and point. Flex and point. Opening all the myofascia. Coming back up, switch feet. And as you're ready, begin your pendulums. Pendulum up and down. Now you're not flattening your low back and then curving it. It's staying in neutral. Your right foot is penduluming, your left foot on the floor. Reach long into the pendulum. Traction that leg up into the TheraBand and out of the hip socket. without lifting the pelvis. Lift the leg bone. Shoulders are broad. Feel how when the foot comes up, the head of the femur should move towards the foot of the mat. And come up, take the left leg long, bring the big toe of the right foot across towards the left side, and down and around. Begin with a small circle. Press evenly up into the foot, no sickling. So if you're a supinator, don't just press into the pinky toe side, press into the big toe side. That's why I like the TheraBand not to be like a stirrup, but to be over the ball mounds of your foot, so you can really extend through the entire leg. Fluid movement. Now come back up to 12 o'clock and take it around to the pinky toe side, around and up, around and up. Fluid breath, fluid motion. Working on opening the hips for a healthier lumbar spine. And as we do this, we open up the tissue so we can recenter the sacrum between the ilium bones. And come back up. Draw the right knee in towards the right armpit. The foot is as much as possible straight up towards the ceiling, and lengthen the left leg out like you could press your foot into a wall. Fluid, three-dimensional breath. Let the breath stretch you open from the inside and relax you on the exhales. Now, release the TheraBand, step the feet down. Nod tailbone towards earth, tailbone towards sky, and see if there's been any change. Okay, let's center our sacrum before we go on. Bring a block in between your knees. And let's bring the hand weights to our sides, and we can do a little work with our arms while we pull into the block. So put the block long ways between your knees and press into it. Now, if you're really tiny, you might need the block at another orientation, but most people, it would be long between your knees. Press your knees into the block, and this should help press your femur bones out into the pelvis. Lift your hand weights up towards the sky. Continue pressing the block, turn your arms into a circle, and open your beetle wings, and close, and open, and close. Keep pressing the block. Long spine, gaze perpendicular to the floor as we open the wings and close. Open the wings and close. Now, if you keep your gaze perpendicular to the floor, if you keep your neutral cervical and lumbar curves, you are practicing postural alignment here. See if you can become aware of your Pilates front square. Now, close your arms, lift your palms skyward. Take the right hand down by your hip, the left hand up over your head. And switch, and switch. Keep pressing into the block with the knees. Flex your feet. Your inner thighs might be starting to feel like, wow, we're working pretty hard. See if your outer legs can help. Swinging the arms overhead and down by the hip, alternating. Now this time as the right hand moves down by the hip, snow angel the arms up, windmill the arms, and then switch, switch up and down, and windmill the other way. And switch, switch, and windmill, and switch, switch, and windmill. If you switch every 2 times, you should be windmilling down with a different arm. Those of you with shoulder issues, you'll be doing something else here. Fluid breath. Switch, switch, and windmill. Remember, your hands can be high towards the ceiling. You don't have to windmill with your wrists down by the floor. We want to follow our own scapular plane. And come back up. And release your hand weights. Release the block. Step both feet to the floor. Bring the block between your knees on the floor. Place your hands on your belly as you press your knees into the block. Now bring your arms open into your T, palms facing the foot of the mat, and press back from the head of the humerus bone to the elbow. Feel your mid-back wake up and strengthen. Keep pressing the block. Feel for each of the four corners of your foot, each of the three arches. Take a deep inhale into the torso and feel how strong you can be from your shoulders out your arms. Let your head nod no. Let the neck be relaxed even as the mid-back begins to turn on. And see if you can still invite in a three-dimensional breath. I'm having you do a lot here. Fluid breath. Keep pressing the arms back and hugging into the block. And release. Release the block. Relax your arms to your sides, palms up. Lengthen your legs out on the mat. Step your feet onto an imaginary wall. And for a moment, just rest here with your shoulders broad, with your pelvis broad, your feet extending. Feel into your lumbar curve, your thoracic curve, your cervical curve. Feel the floor behind your head, where it touches behind your back, and on your sacrum. With that in mind, roll yourselves over and come onto hands and knees. Bring your hand weights with you. With your right fingertips to the side, float your right shoulder blade on the back. Float the fingertips to the floor. As you lift the right arm, lift the left leg and float down. Feel the floor behind your head, behind your upper back, and behind your pelvis. And come back down. Try the other side, keeping your back on the floor. Float left hand or right shin, lifting and lowering. Stay long out of your collar, neutral spine. Try not to twist the spine. Don't lift the knee that high. And release down. Now, if you'd like to add hand weights, I'm not supposed to do heavy weightlifting, so I'm not going to use my hand weights, but feel free. Take your right fingertips out, your left shin up and float. Pause there. And slowly lower and lift. And slowly lower and lift. And one more time, slowly lower and lift. Stay aware of the floor behind you. Place the left hand or the right hand on the floor. Lift left and right shin. And slowly lower and lift. Stay long out of your collar. Slowly lower and lift. Keep your sacrum on the floor behind you. Slowly lower and lift. And release. Now arch away as you inhale into your cow. Your head gets to go up through the floor. Exhale into your hissing cat. A few times. Inhale into your cow. Exhale into your hissing cat. Okay, bring the bolster underneath your body. Block underneath your forehead. And bring your hand weights to each side if you want to use them. We're going to go into the rhomboid back strengthening work here. So hands down by your hips. Begin without the hand weights so you get good alignment in mind. Make sure you're centered well on your bolster. Your forehead supported by your block. Your low ribs are supported by the bolster. Palms face the hips. They face into the body, thumbs towards the floor, index finger and thumbs touching. Float the head of the arm bone up as you lift the pinky finger skyward and lower and lift. Now you have long arms, but you're not slumping the shoulders down towards the hips. You're broad across your shoulder girdle, straight across your shoulder girdle. Now if you'd like to, pick up your hand weights and float them up and down. Pubic bone grounds. Tailbone reaches for your heels. If you'd like to, you can float your feet off the floor and work the backs of your legs and your buttocks as well. But the concentration here is up the arms and into your rhomboids. Now you can stay with these, and you could come back and do 3 sets of these. That's what I was originally given to strengthen my rhomboids from my very trusted physical therapist. Bring your fingertips to the floor, and without the hand weights, float your wings out to the side and up. And remember not to lift your wrist higher than your shoulder. Find good alignment in your shoulder girdle. Feel the head of the arm bone has room around it before you try it with your hand weights. Root your pubic bone. Stay strong in your square as you lift and lower. Stay long in your back body. Fluid breath. And release the weights. Bring your hands up, long arms beside your ears, palms facing each other, pinkies float towards the floor, thumbs and index fingers float up and down. This one I don't recommend with hand weights until you've done it for at least a month. Lifting and lowering. Keep the back of your neck long, the shoulder girdle broad, perhaps lift your feet. Strong awareness in your front and back Pilates squares. And release your arms back, down by the hips, palms down, thumbs out. Float the arms into your Salambhasana, broad across your collarbones, shoulder blades strong on your back. Float your head off the block. Lift and lengthen. Yeah, nice length, Sharon. Fluid breath. Yeah, you too, Sherry, Katie. Oh, beautiful necks all the way around the room. Susie, Jory, Mira, Nadine. I can't see you, Kathy. Karen. Yeah, these look good. Fluid breath. And now lower and lift. Lower and lift. Find a pulsation without clinching in the low back. Lengthen the tailbone to avoid that. Feel into your Pilates square from low hip pointers to ribs. There's a kind of drawing together and a hollowing into the pelvis that can support your lumbar spine. Good. And release. Roll back into a supported child's pose. Supported child's pose. Resting onto your bolster. See if you can draw the breath down into the low back. And if you can reach it comfortably, bring your knuckles of your hands to your lumbar, to your low back, and just gently massage the low back either side, and then down towards your sacrum. And just explore how it feels to give yourself a little massage. You may be able to dig your fingers in. And if you're as lucky as I am, you might get a kiss from Ivy. Huh? Did you go give Sharon a kiss? Let your hands go up and down. Good. And then float your hands down past your buttocks. Pat your hips, rub your hips. Rub down your quads. And then come up. Okay, let's roll up into a downward dog. Your forehead may touch your bolster depending on the height and the length of your neck. If it does, rest your head down onto the bolster, long neck. Pressing evenly into each finger pad, curl the finger pads a little towards the palm to help lift the center of the palm. Lengthen the arms,
Oh, and if you have your head on the bolster, maybe it lifts off a little or it comes further down the bolster. You can stay here or float one leg up behind you and stretch it back. Float the foot to the floor, lift the other leg, stretch it back. You can stay with either of these or float the first foot up again, bend the knee, press the foot behind you into a twist, stretching open the pelvis and hips. A few fluid breaths. Broad across your collar, let your neck go, and if the bolster's in your way, move it out of the way. Reach the foot back down, float the other side up, bend the knee, press. Shoulders stay broad and strong down into each arm. You're not collapsing towards the shoulder you're twisting towards. And release. Okay, we're going to roll over on the floor. This is going to be an interesting ending of this class today. We're going to bring the chair in and bring the blocks into a triangle around your sacrum. We usually do this in yoga, but I want the Pilates people to know it. So you're going to bring the triangle around your tailbone, around the triangle of your sacrum, and you're going to lay the sacrum between the blocks like a hammock. Okay, so your calves come onto the chair, and then your feet come onto the chair, the heels at least, and you lift your buttocks and you place the blocks underneath the buttocks, kind of where we were rolling out from the sacrum, and you place them in a triangle shape so they go all the way around. And you can start even with them on the edge of your sacrum, but then you move them off because that's not very comfortable, and you hang your sacrum down between the blocks. And this will help you open the fascial tissue, connections of several muscles that come in and connect out from the sacrum to outer hip. Now, you can just stay here and rest into the hug of gravity if you like, or you can lift your knees up over your chest or even lift your feet up towards the sky. You can have bent knees, it doesn't matter. And you can rock holding the blocks with your hands. Rock to the left side and rock across to the right. And rock to the left and rock to the right. And you can start to feel into the tissue along the sacrum. And then as you rock one direction, you can begin moving the opposite block out just a smidge. And feel how you can kind of work your way along these tissues that connect the hip to the sacrum. Moving slowly out until you get to the bones on the other side. And then you can slowly make your way back in, rocking side to side. And if you want to play around with this, you can pause in one location where you're feeling like, ah, that's where I need it. And you can circle the legs and feel into the tissue as you draw this circle. And I like, here I have my knees bent, circling and taking the circles the other way. And it may not be as much pressure as you had with the ball, or it may be more depending on your body. But you may feel, oh yeah, I'm getting a massage deep in the tissue around the sacrum. Fluid breath. So you can really do this without having a chair if you can get the blocks in position. Some of you may want to put your feet on the chair and try it with the blocks higher on medium and just see if that comes into your pelvis differently as you walk the blocks out. It may get a little deeper or not. You just want to make sure the blocks aren't going to collapse over, so you hold on to the blocks, whatever choices you make. You can take the V wider
and then make it narrower again to kind of get into the tissue at different angles. Just working on opening this tissue that can really get tight and cause impingement around the sciatic nerve bundles and other nerve bundles. Fluid breath. And then bring your feet back to the seat of the chair. Lift your buttocks up, set it down. Hug your knees into your chest. Lift your feet up towards the sky. Come into your half happy baby and rock your whole happy baby and rock side to side. You can hold the backs of your knees or you can hold your feet. Fluid, three-dimensional breath. And then roll yourselves over. Bring your TheraBand up. If you need to leave class, I understand. I'm going a little over today. But I want to do one last thing for those of you with low back. Bring your TheraBand issues. Bring your TheraBand back over the top of the head. Bring your hands out to the sides. Open your feet on the floor. Feel the four corners, the three arches of your feet by lifting your toes. And just feel how your standing posture feels after all the floor work we did. I want to hear about it after class. I'm not going to say what I feel, but I have definite sensations. Take a few three-dimensional breaths. Think of some of the different guidance, the different cueing that you've gotten and what works for you. Give yourself that cueing. Coming into healthy postural alignment. Breathe space around your joints, even in the neck. So don't pull down too hard on the TheraBand. Now gently root down from the pelvic rim. You may activate the banks of your river. You may activate your glutes down the whole circumference of each leg. And then gently lift the pelvic floor. Lengthen the spine into the TheraBand. And lift from the navel ring. Lift the vertebrae up away from the pelvis. From the rib ring, even in the back, lift away from the pelvis. Now take a few breaths. Don't work so hard that you can't breathe into it. Find a way to lift and breathe. Now lift the center chest ring. Continue to breathe. Keep the shoulder blades on your back, the head pressing up into the TheraBand. Soft knees. Shoulder blades strong. Touch the center palate with your tongue and lift. And now let the hot air balloon lift you. And let your hands go off the TheraBand. Relax your arms. Palms turn forward, shoulder blades strong on the back. And float back to the group. Okay. How'd that go?
An inch taller.
Good. I'm glad to hear it, Katie.